Hello everybody, I'm Jimmy Fantastic and welcome to my Norse guide for Warhammer Bloodbowl 25 Season 3. Norse are a kind of cool team now actually, I think. Let's get into this. Thank you Fumble for updating everything mostly to the new rosters. Pretty cool. So if you're new to Bloodbowl or Norse, what are they? They're like the Northern Chaos tribes, aren't they? That's what they are. They used to be more old world in the fluff, and in the fluff of Blood Bowl, they were like, so now in Warhammer they're only Chaos. So now you can choose whether they're Chaos or old world, which kind of makes sense, right? They've kept the Blood Bowl origin, but then they're making allowances to the Warhammer thing. The style of play is they've got loads of block on the team, and they just punch you. They're a glass cannon team. They're really good at punching you. They're not so good at getting punched. And they're kind of just a fun, bashy, killy team. Honestly, they're actually fine. I've had my issues with them in the past, but now I'm at peace with them. They're quite flavourful, and they've got some things going for them. So let's have a look. They've got, I think these are 0 to 16 now. I think every lineman's 0 to 16. Can't confirm that, but I'm pretty sure every lineman's 0 to 16. The lineman there. 6, movement 6, strength 3, edge 3, PA 4, AV 8+. So AV 8+ is really quite bad, but they've got thick skull, which counters that. So they're actually just as likely to get removed as an AV 9+ player. They obviously take more stuns, but they get removed at the same rate as an AV 9+ player. So that's pretty decent, right? They've got block, which is incredible, best skill in the game. Costs everybody else 30k. They get to play for 20k essentially, which is crazy now, right? The fact that block's an elite skill makes Norse a lot better, a lot more TV efficient. They've got Drunkard, which is kind of funny. Means when they make a rush, they fall over on a 1 or a 2 instead of a 1. So that's like, you know, and then they've got Unsteady, which is like flavourful, right? Because they're drunks and unsteady. You're never going to want to pick up on a Norse Raider anyway. You're never going to want to score on him. So the Unsteady is purely flavourful because they're drunken and unsteady. It's funny, but you know, the Drunkard is kind of annoying, right? Because it does cap the movement at movement 6 more or less. Like sometimes you'll still rush with them, but very rarely. So that's probably more of a hindrance than the AV8+ is, thanks to thick skull. They've got primary general, and they've got agility, passing, and strength on secondary. So no devious skills, so no dirty player, but they don't need it. Honestly, the only skills they want now is just plus AV, right? They've got everything they need. They'll just take roll for stats and hope to get AV. If they don't take it, take steady footing. So, funnily enough, they can be unsteady and drunkard with steady footing, which is quite funny. Then they've got the beer boars, which are really cool. They're like boars with beer on their back. Movement 5, strength 1, really weak. Edge 3+, AV 6+, incredibly fragile. They've got dodge and stunty and titchy, so they dodge everywhere on a 2+. They also don't exert tackle zones properly. But you know, they're good dodginess. They've got no hands. They've actually got no ball now. That hasn't been updated. And they've got pick me up, which is a great skill of everybody within 3 squares at the end of the opponent's turn, I guess, or the start of theirs, whichever way it is. On a 5+, they stand up for free if you want. So it's actually quite good, right? You stand that behind the LOS, and then you're going to get one of your guys up, maybe 2 of your guys up for free, and then block them back. So it really leans into the, the bashy glass cannon effect. They don't get any primaries, and they only get agility non-secondary, but they only cost 20k. They're also not. They've got no hands. They're never going to get an MVP. You're never going to nominate them for MVP. They're never ever going to level. But if they did, the only thing they'd take would be plus AV anyway. Right, the Valkyries. These are a new addition from 2020 rules. Really cool. Movement 7, strength 3, edge 3, PA 3. AV 8+. So they're a bit fragile, but they're fast and they can pass and they can move. And they've got pass and catch, so they're really good at moving the ball to each other and around the pitch in various ways. They've got dauntless, so they can take on strong players sometimes. And they've got strip ball, which goes up a lot in value in this edition because of lack of sure hands. No one's really going to bother with sure hands anymore. They can just secure the ball in a 2+. So Yeah, honestly, the Valkyrie's really nice. They also get general agility and passing primaries and strength secondaries, and they cost 95k. Now, what's bad about them is block is now 30k, dodge is now 30k, elite skills. That's harming the Valkyries. They can take wrestle, but and that obviously pairs well with strip ball, makes them not so good ball carriers though, right? You probably want a ball carrying one who takes block and dodge and stats and hit and run, and then you probably want a wrestle one which just takes wrestle and maybe dodge. And you've got the Norse Berserker. He's an interesting one, really good in NAF style because he can take Mighty Blow or Guard. In progression, not so good. 90k, movement 6, strength 3, edge 3, PA 5, AV 8+. Doesn't have thick skull, so more vulnerable than the lineman, but does have block, frenzy and jump up, so very killy, right? If you knock the guy over, you can forget jump up and they can jump up and punch you. They've got frenzy for pushing people in the crowd and making more knockdowns. General and strength access on primaries, agility on secondaries. So if you were to take these in progression, you would just want Mighty Blow on them as soon as possible, and then probably Guard because it's somewhere else to get Guard. The only problem is the Guard's expensive, so maybe Mighty Blow and stats. I don't know. Ulfwereners are similar to Berserkers, except they're strength up. Movement 6, strength 4, edge 4+, PA 6+, AV 9+, so they're more durable, stronger. They've got the frenzy the same. They've got unsteady, so they can't secure the ball, which is a shame because that you might want to do it on a movement 6, strength 4 player. General and strength, and then agility on secondaries, 105k, and obviously the skill they want is block. Absolutely, massively want block, and then they can be really, really good players. So you get, you can get 5 frenzy on your starting team if you want here. Frenzy is a big thing for the Norse. Then you've got the Yeti, the big guy. He looks cool. Number 1, number 2, limited usefulness. Movement 5, strength 5, edge 4, PA 6, AV 9. So kind of vulnerable, right? Claws, which is good. Frenzy, which is good. Disturbing Presence, which will sometimes do things. Loner, which sucks. Unchanneled Fury, which sucks. So it's a big guy. It's expensive, and the thing is, it gives you an out versus teams like Orcs and Lizard Men that you'd normally struggle with a lot, right? You'd normally struggle with these teams, but now you can just hit them with Claw, remove their players, and all of a sudden you swing them again. So yeah, they're pretty cool. They want block from their secondary, and I guess Guard. And that's about it. So there you go. 60k rerolls. You don't really need many rerolls because you've got loads of block. Chaos Clash Oral World Classic. You choose on creation, I think. And then if you take Chaos Clash, you get Favoured of Khorne. They've decided they're only Khorne worshippers now, Norse. And yeah, Games Workshop reckon they're tier 1. And they probably are. So here we go. If you're a returning player, the buffs are the Ulf and Yeti gain a PA stat, which makes them less of a bomb target. Yep. 6 MVP rule benefits this team. I mean, yes, it stops you losing. And actually, Norse want to go to like 13, 14 players a lot of the time. So it does actually stop, annoying MVPs going to your beer bar and stuff. Obviously, everybody benefits from the 6 MVP rule to a certain extent. Block is now an elite skill, and starting of them, most of your team make them even more TV efficient than they already were. Yep. Nerfs, they have no DP access on the team, which, it's not that bad. The bigger nerf, actually, is what they used to always do on Fumble and on Blood Bowl 3 was cycle linemen. You would roll random secondaries, and if they got Guard or Mighty Blow, you'd be quite happy at getting that for 20k. Now you can't do that anymore. Randoms do not offer a TV discount, so there's really no point in randoming, hardly ever. And then so you've got to just choose Guard for them for 50k, which sounds crazy, right? So that's a bigger nerf than the DP access, honestly. Right, I did make a recommended starting lineup. What have we got? We've got Berserkers are bad in progression. Yeah, they are. They are, I'll be honest with you. So we've got 2 Ulfwereners, 2 Valkyries, 1 Beer Pig, 7 Linemen. So that gives you a 12th. The 12th player is the Beer Pig, Beer Boar, which, it kind of like 11.5 players rather than 12. 3 rerolls, and an apothecary. So this is a luxury start, right? You just start with everything. You could also start with only 2 rerolls and a 13th player. You could also do that, or you could start without the apothecary. You could start with an extra lineman rather than the apothecary. So either way, this is the roster that Chiergant went 15-0 on Black Box Trophy, which is the only person to ever go 15-0, which is kind of crazy. Or he was the first. I think he's the only one to go 15-0. And then he won the trophy afterwards, so he actually went 20-0 with that team. And this is how he started it. Except I think he went with the 13th player rather than the apothecary, I believe. But I think for leagues and stuff, the apothecary is kind of more safe, isn't it? You know, you can apple. You don't want miss next games anymore, right? This is the thing. You really don't want a miss next game Ulfwerener, because let's say you had 100k in the bank and you had a miss next game Ulfwerener. Bad example. 100k in the bank and you've got a miss next game Valkyrie. The Valkyrie costs 95. You could just sack the Valkyrie and buy a new Valkyrie. You can't do that anymore. And you get loads of money, right? So you could have 150k in the bank. You could have a rookie Ulfwerener miss next game and just sack him and rebuy him. You can't do that anymore. So for that reason, I think, and also the injury chart has been changed in general, so I think that ups the value of apothecaries in general. They could have like another beer pick, I guess. They could drop a reroll and have another beer ball, and then have start with dedicated fans and maybe take the team mascot. But I don't think it's worth it. I think this is fine. Consistent 3 rerolls is good, and everything you need. A really good starting team, provided you give up on Berserkers and Yeti. If you want the Berserkers and Yeti, obviously you'll make a different team. It won't be as good at winning games, but if that's what you want, fair enough, isn't it? There's more than one way to have fun. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and stay fantastic.